Thank you for calling the Spy Shop. This is Don. Okay. Is it in town here? In Fargo? Okay. I have installers that install my equipment. I would consider... We got into surveillance because of Oprah Winfrey, actually. I worked for a company called Cellular One here in town. It was an old cell phone company. And they had a program where you could become an independent dealer, and they would set you up and that type of thing. Well, prior to that, a good friend of mine, my ex-business partner, had been watching Oprah, and they had a private investigator on there that was telling us that every time you put one of these covert cameras in somebody's house, rich people usually down in LA, they would fire, 78% of them would fire their nannies because of what they saw on the camera. So we were at first, him and I were gonna rent a little office, a dingy office somewhere, and put an ad in the paper, you know, hey, cheating spouse, you know, come see us. But then when I opened up the cell phone store, I got together with him and said, hey, we should put a couple of counters in the cell phone store, kind of off in the corner. He goes, I'm in. So we did. We put one little counter in with actually that counter right there with a few items in there, about 3 little items that look bare, and it just kind of grew from there. People will see the sign all the time, and they'll come in, I've been driving by here every day for a year, and I just got to come in and see what you do here. I have one case particular in my store that has nothing but hidden cameras. That's probably the biggest draw in the store outside of security systems themselves. Honestly, cheating spouses, most of the time people come in because they want to know if he or she are cheating on them.
I know she's done something, I don't know what.
The second one is they want to know what their children are doing when they get home from school. And usually that's a cheating spouse too, but they just tell us it's their children. But those are probably the biggest draw. The third one is at your office. A lot of people want to know who's coming in their office when they're gone on a call or not there that day. So we get a lot of that. When I first started this business, I had a favorite pub that I would hang around in, and one of the people came up to me and grabbed me by the arm and said, Don, you can't do that. You can't sell that kind of stuff. People won't want to talk to you. They won't want to sit down and share their life with you, and you're certainly never going to get anybody to date you. And I just kind of laughed. You know, before this business, I used to have a company called Balloons and Tunes, and we sold magic tricks also, kind of had a counter like that with magic tricks in it. Just the thrill of not knowing how it's done, or you know, it's kind of like the same type of customer. They want to be able to see what's happening or be able to do that, but at the same token, they kind of are into gadgets and into secretive things, that type of thing. So me, I'm into gadgets, so I like all kinds of things like that. Do I want to use them for my own good? I've been tempted before, but I like to hear what other people have to say, and the stories that you hear are unbelievable. A lot of times it's really bizarre things. I had one gal, for example, that really thought aliens were in her house. I've had people tell me that when they turn off the lights, they see hundreds of little holes of light coming through their ceiling, and they know that there's aliens spying on them. You know, so some of them are just a little bit far-fetched. And at the same token, I had a gentleman that was in the service, and he found a little round metal piece underneath the cigarette lighter. And we looked at it closely, and it was actually a microphone of some sort, of recording device or something. It wasn't just a washer or anything like that. I like to provide people with a way of finding out, you know, what they want to know. I like to be able to put security systems in so that people can be safe, and I don't know. It's just always intrigued me with the gadgets, I guess. And yeah, the stories. Yeah, we could sit for hours and talk about what people tell me.